If you guys haven't seen it season 1, then go first now, watch that link in the description. So now we see that and Suzaku bid on each other, but they escape each other's fire and catches Suzaku and takes him to his father and prickily says, I will give you Lelouch, but in return you have to make me a knight of round. So Chas also says yes to it and sends Suza to his friend. He wins the Knight of the Round position, but only then do we find out that Lelouch's father Charles also has Gias. He also uses his Gias on Lelouch and erases all the memories of Lelouch so far. He forgets everything. Also about the hero, also about the bridge, also about the power of Gias, and also about his wax. Now we give ourselves and Chas Lelouch a new life. Then we write a scene 1 year from now where Lelouch is in his school and his normal life is Zira. And now he also has a brother whose name is Rollo, who is sent by Kichas so that he can keep an eye on Lelouch, and Lelouch has to enjoy his life with his brother and all the student council members. Life is normal, but the world is still the same. Britain is still oppressing Japan, and we also learn that Charles has told all British soldiers to keep an eye on him. That's why British soldiers win. They are monitored for 24 hours, and we also find out that after Zero left, more than half of the Black Knight members have been taken prisoner by Britannia. But there are still some members of the Black Knights that Britain has not yet caught. Then in the next scene, we see that Lelouch and those people had come to a gambling place, and then Lelouch was playing chess with a prisoner there, but that guy was a #1 pussy because he was cheating. Lelouch tells him about this, but he fights Lelouch on the other hand and starts assaulting him, and only then we see that Kellen comes there wearing a maid dress and starts taking Lelouch from there by baiting those goons. Then Rollo also runs after him to save Lelouch, and there Black Knight and members come with their nightmare, and all these came just for Lelouch, and Kellen is taking Lelouch and then Rollo in the beach. Akorlu saves Luz from him and starts taking him from there, and here the members of the Black Knight blast a pinkish bomb in the building, and the Britannia army also gets to know about the attack of the Black Knight. Then Britannia's nightmares also come there, and we see the members of the Black Knight there. Kaelin's Gurren brings nightmare, so Kaelin also sits in it and activates it, and we see Luz and Rollo who were still escaping, and because of these explosions, Lelouch and Rollo are separated from each other, but Lelouch's memories have just been erased. So his real brother is Rollo, so he starts looking for him, and Lelouch is looking for Rollo. Then he sees some dead people that the Black Knight has just killed, and Lelouch is scared. And that's when a nightmare of the Black Knight comes in front of him, and that's when she comes out of that nightmare and says to him, Lelouch, I'm here to get you, I'm your teammate, we had a contract, your enemy is Britannia. That's when Lelouch says, contract teammate, I don't know you, who are you, I tell you only I know your truth. And Lelouch is sad to hear this and starts moving towards Situ, and then someone shoots Situ from behind. Then Lelouch quickly goes and catches Situ, and he looks in front, so there was the army of Britannia who did all this and those dead people there. Britannia's army starts burning them, and Lelouch is sad to see them because there are so many. There were people who weren't dead. When he was alive, he told a man of the British army that we just have to kill the bridge. Then he told him that, what do you want to say? Then the British army guy says to him, what am I going to talk to a guy who doesn't even have his own memories and gets sad and thinks, is this the end of me? Am I? I'm going to die. Without understanding anything, if I had the strength, then it would not have happened. The strength to get out of here. The strength to fight the world. Only then suddenly C2 kisses him, which brings Lelouch to the same dimension where C2 says to it, you need strength, but you already have it. It is just sealed somewhere inside you, remember. Who are you? The power of the king. These are all just false memories. The time has come to remind you who you are, and only then does Lelouch recall all his memories of who he is. He is Zero. He remembers everything. About C2, about Black Knight, about Zero, about Yasaki power, about his sister Nunnally, and he has one goal, to find the one who killed his mom. That's when Lelouch stands up and says to the Britannia army guy, I want you to answer one of my questions before you kill me. Lelouch says to him, is revenge bad? Friendship can go hand in hand with justice. He speaks. There is nothing wrong or fair about it. I have to kill that green-haired girl. Lelouch says, well then this is for you too. I Lelouch order you all to die, and Lelouch activates his gas again and uses it on those Britannia army brothers so that they accept his orders, and all Britannia soldiers kill themselves. And Lelouch also finds out that Rollo is his spy, was living. He was pretending to be his brother. He is sent by Chaz, and then Kalon also comes to Lelouch with her nightmare and says, we were waiting for you. Vero says, you give the order. Lelouch says, why not? Because I am Zero, who will destroy this world and create a new world. Then in the next scene we see Charles, to whom Suzaku comes and says, you're majestic, I am going to kill Zero. Then we see Lelouch again. He tells CT, have you given knowledge to Charles? But CC refuses. Lelouch asks, where is Nunnally? So tell CT. We still don't know where the nanny is, but members of our Black Knight are looking for him, and Psycho is in the Chinese Federation and has a dead heart with him, and Ratsata also, and they don't know your true identity. Then Lelouch says, whoever gassed Charles, I will find him and I will save Nunnally quickly as well. And we see Rollo, who still has to find Lelouch in that building. That's when Lelouch says, I need a nightmare, and that's when CC bends behind a nightmare because there comes a soldier from Britannia with his nightmare. That's when Lelouch talks to him normally and says, it's good that you came here. And that's when that guy comes out of his nightmare to see Lelouch, and that's his biggest mistake because Lelouch and takes his nightmare by using his gas. Then in the next scene we find out that the Knights of the Chinese Union have come to Britain because they have to build good relations with Britain, and we see the scene inside the same building again where he goes to the control room of that building and starts giving orders to all the members of the Black Knight again, and the members of the Black Knight are also creating havoc there. And we're going to finish off the nightmare of Britannia, and on the other side, C2 was planting bombs in this building for which he was told by Lelouch. Then we see the new general of Britannia, whose name is Karis, and this is the new governor general of Britannia. And we see Lelouch, who was in the control room. Then she goes to Kalina and points her gun at him. Then we see Charles, who was taking Suzaku to a place, and he says, Suzaku, you are the first person in the night of the round. Nigel and the rest of the people don't know either. So Charles tells her that in the night of round, you are the only one who knows the truth about Lelouch and the gas, and he brings her to his tweet elevator and tells her, this is my temple god's weapon of destruction. This is the sword of Aksa. And here we see Callan asking Lelouch, did you use me? You used gas on me to melt my heart. Lelouch tells him that your heart is only yours and also your loyalty, and goes to Karen and tells him that you trust me, don't you? Callan tells him, yes, I trust you. I trust Zero. Not that Lelouch on Lelouch says, okay, this is also true, and she compliments her dress, which makes Callan Sharma go and tells her Tarki, and we look. The Black Knight is attacked by many Britannian soldiers, for which the orders were given to them by Karis. After that, who sits in his nightmare, then tells CTU that all the bombs are ready. It just takes a little more time. Then Lelouch says, then my plan is going according to, and then Lelouch sees that one by one, all his members of the Black Knight were going to end, and they were going to happen very fast. And we see that there is a new nightmare from Britannia comes, in which, who are we? I don't know about him, and he is very fast, and he was using his speed to eliminate the member of the Black Knight, and he was also going to eliminate Lelouch. And then in the middle, a member of the Black Knight comes and saves Lelouch and says, Zero, we trust you, liberating Japan and sacrificing himself for Zero and his nightmare with the same nightmare. Blast. But we see that even from that explosion, nothing happens to that nightmare. He escapes, and seeing this, Kellen and Lelouch are shocked. And then Sichu tells Lelouch that all the bombs are ready, and hearing this, Lelouch presses the button of the bomb so that they get a chance to escape. And Karis is also very close to the same building. Vovo says whether the Black Knight wants to die, and that entire building gets blasted and a lot of British soldiers are killed, and Karis was also under the same building, so that building also falls on top of him. Because of Jess, he is also killed, but Kellen and Neelak escape from there, and Neelak says that my plan worked and starts laughing, and Britannia also gets the news that General Karis is killed. Then Guilford, he comes and tells him, I am the Knight of Fornelia. Karis has been killed. So from now on, I will command the army of Britannia. And Guilford asks his knight to get ready. And then he suddenly, Zero comes on his screen and says, I am, and the heart bursts, and not only his whole Britannia bursts, and we see because he gets very happy to see this and says, I knew Zero will come back, and there is also Roxata and Psycho, and he also gets happy with this, and this was live. Then everyone is watching Zero, and Zero says the world is a little bit, it didn't change. So I had to go back. As long as the strong continue to persecute the weak, I will continue to fight. The first was General Karis, whom I just sent to hell, and now the members of the Night of Round are shown who were watching all this, and Sujafu was also watching this. Only then does Guilford get the news that this broadcast has been made from where the Chinese unit. Indians are members, and Guilford says, how can this happen? Guilford finds out that the Chinese Union was with us. The Chinese Union came not for them but for Black Knight, and now they are supporting Zero. And now we see the scene of the members of the Round of Knights, where a member, Suzak, tells him, you said you killed Zero, so who is this? Then she speaks in a small voice, all this is useless. After that we see Zero, who was with the Chinese Union members, and from now on he is with them, and a member of the Chinese Union whose name is Li Jiang says in his mind that Zero is very intelligent, it's amazing. And on the other hand, Nina was very angry at Zero because she still has to avenge UP, and Zero Nunes says that he will liberate Japan, and two members of the Chinese Union, one of whom is named Jiangke and the other is named Dao Dao, says that we would like to work with Zero and the room where Zero is now with the members of the Chinese Union. He declares it his area for now. Then near Zero's base, there the Nightmare of Britain comes. Then Jiangke calls him, you are here to pick us up, but we are with Zero. And then Rollo comes out of that nightmare and goes to Jiangke and tells him, I have come to kill Zero. And we see that Rollo also has a Gias, and even before he uses his Gias, his phone starts ringing. When he picks up the call, Lilu picks up on him, who tells him, Rollo, are you okay with me? I was worried about you, if nothing happened to you. And Rollo gets shocked after hearing Lelouch's voice and thinks in his mind that the hero is now live. Who is he who is talking to me? Then Willette or Lelouch takes the phone and tells Rollo that Lelouch is safe here. You also come back to school, and Willette is here so that he can keep an eye on Lelouch, for which he does not want to. Said, but she doesn't know yet that Lelouch's memories have come back, and we see Kellen, who has Zero, and we find out that she is not Zero, she is C2. And Kaleni is sad to see that Lelouch and C2 had already changed their place, and the speech that was already recorded, and Kellen is very angry that Lelouch and C2 don't say anything. After that, we come to know that there is a control system of Britannia under the school in Lelouch, where all the CCTV cameras of the school are connected, and it is handled by Villetta and Rollo. And Rollo goes there and asks Villetta what we have to do now. Then Villetta says, don't pay attention to all these things. We have to catch Plain City, and we see Lelouch. He was only thinking about saving his mother, how to save her. He had to find her first. When she comes to Villetta, she sees her and thinks that no one knows yet that my memories have come back. I have used the gas once on the Villetta, and I can use my gas once on a person, so it means now it will not work on the Villetta. And this is my brother who has replaced Nunnally. I have to slowly get closer to it, and now we see a war scene where Britain had attacked Germany, but Germany was dominating Britain. Then that Sushab comes with his Lancelot and tells the people of Germany to surrender. I will not do anything to anyone who surrenders. The German army is shocked to see that this battle has come to a direct round of night, but the German army does not believe him. When they attack Lancelot, Suzaku also attacks them with his technique, and we see that Suzaku became very powerful. He had become very good at controlling Lancelot, and Snyazal is happy to see him and says, I know. And we see Lelouch looking at her school album, but there's not a single photo of Nani in it. I mean, Chance erased it too. And then Rollo comes in and says to Lelouch, I'm surprised, how did you get out of there? There were also members of the Black Knight there. He says to Lelouch, Rollo, what are you saying? You mean, how did I escape from terrorism? He was the British army. He saved me. Then he sees a locket near Churolo and says in his mind, I wanted to give this locket to Nani on her birthday, but I had to give it. Then he tells Churolo that this locket has become very old, give it back to me, and Rollo refuses to give it to him and says, I will give it to you. It's not mine. You gave it to me. Rollo then goes to meet Villetta underground and tells her that Lilacs' memo has not yet returned to research and no one has yet found out about my GIS. But then a man comes who works for Villetta, but he hears these things, then Rollo uses his Geas. We find out about Rollo's gas ability that he can stop time with his gas, but it has a range. Whoever is in that range will freeze in one place, and Rollo goes there and kills that guy and says to Villetta, sorry, he heard us, but we can't tell anybody about the gas power, and we see the hero's base scene, where a Black Knight guy comes and says there is bad news, and we find out that Guilford has gathered all the Black Knight members in one place and he is going to kill everyone at 3 laws PM, and all this he has done to get Zero out because he will definitely save his friends and challenges Zero to fight with him, Von and all this. Luce is also watching and he has to save the members of the Black Knight. Without them, the plan is incomplete. But then Sardi comes there and tells her that it is Miss Villetta's birthday and I have to get a gift for her. So will you come with me? To which Lelouch says yes, but we see that Reverse is standing outside listening to all this, and we see in the next scene where Sarni was getting ready to go with, and we are shown in a flashback where C2 gives the lens to Luigi and tells him you can't control your gas anymore so you can hide it. Toulouse puts that lens on his eye which hides his gas, and that role tells him to take care of the house and goes from there. And in the next 3 we see Lelouch, which happens with Sarli, and only then Lelouch's eye increases. Then she sees the president there who was spying on him regarding Reverse and rules, and we see that Villetta's mom and here also was chasing Lelouch, and Villetta was giving him commands from the control room of the school because she felt that if Lelouch is Zero, then this is Black. The members will definitely be saved. Oil Ilyuchik goes to the shopkeeper and removes the lens from his eye, uses his gas on it and tells him to do me a favor. Then he goes to the Sari, then the Sari tells him I only have to go around in the car, then Ilyuch suddenly. At the same time, the accident with Sarli remembers how his memories were gone. Then he tells Sarni that the president and all the rest are following us and says that I have an idea. Come with me, and Lilis takes her to a clothes shop and goes to change clothes in the changing room and tells Sarni I will go out from here and give a surprise to the resident. Then Sarni also agrees and Nilush goes to the changing room and he changes clothes and calls the British police and tells them that I am a member of the Black Knight. If you don't listen to us, then we will blast all the bombs installed in that place. And we see that Lelouch sneaks out from there, and Lelouch used his gas on that guy. He breaks a machine with his own hands and there is an alarm siren, due to which there is a rush, taking advantage of which Deleuze also leaves there. And seeing this, Rollo quickly goes towards the changing room, but it seems that he is not there, and Villetta also comes to know about this, so she also quickly leaves her control room and starts going there and takes all her teammates with her. And then Rollo also comes to the control room. Then he looks that there is no one there because Villetta had already gone from there, and then suddenly someone points a gun towards her. Then she turns back and looks, then there is Lulu. Then she tells her, then your memories have come back. Lulu tells him, first this school was a prison for me, and now this is my castle, and she uses her gas on it. Do you go? Find the drain. But then Rollo disappears from there and comes after him with Lelouch's gum, and Lelouch knows that Rollo also has gas that can stop time. Only then are we shown Rollo's flashback, when we find out that he has killed a lot of people since his childhood. Lelouch tells him that his gas slows down time, and Rollo says, I don't think it's right to answer this question. I'm just following Charles's orders, and he tells Lelouch that if your memories are back, you have to die. Then he tells Lelouch, you can't kill me. I know you guys want seats. It's very important for you, and if you kill me you won't get seats, but if you let me go I'll bring you. Rollo told him, would you sell Seto? My life is more precious than that. Secondly, what will happen to your future if you capture Situ and hand it over to Britain? Nothing will change. Rollo says, but this is my mission. Kill me and your mission will never be completed. You want to catch the Situ, don't you? I'll bring him to you tomorrow. You don't worry, I'm not lying. Then, in the next scene, C2 and Callan are made to talk. Only then is Jan done there. Then we see in the next scene where he was doubting Leda and her members about the roles, and Abu doesn't want to work with him anymore. And then we see Guilford, who was still waiting for Zero, and he says that if If he doesn't come, then all his Black Knight members will be killed, and in the next scene we see Liz Yankee and Dao of the Chinese Union who were talking to each other, and then Jia's Dao kills Hao, and here on the other side Britannia are preparing to kill the Black Knight, and there are a lot of Japanese who have come because they are telling Britannia to leave them. Whoever says Zero will definitely come and save us, and only then Zero comes there with his nightmare and tells Guilford that those people are not terrorists, let them go, and we see Rollo because says if you broke the promise then I will kill you. But the members of the Black Knight were saying that Zero had done a very crazy job by coming here. He shouldn't have come here, and only then does Jero Guilford challenge him to a fight and ask him to suck his weapon. But Lelouch just takes a shield and everyone wonders if he wants to die, but Guilford and Zero are ready to fight, and then the ground below them on which they all stand starts to turn and the whole Britannia army starts falling, and then Zero gives the command to charge Kalin. And a lot of British army nightmares are falling and ending, and Guilford uses his weapon to avoid falling down and is about to attack Zero. But then he collides with a tank and falls down, and at the right moment there the members of the Black Knight come with their nightmare and start saving all the members of the Black Knight, and Calamby Britannia was fighting Nightmare, and then Roll with his nightmare falls behind Lelouch, and Lelouch's nightmare breaks a rest. Then a missile is launched towards Roll, but Lelouch comes in the middle and saves him, and seeing this Roll falls into that thinking why Lelouch saved him, so he asks Lelouch why he saved her. Lilu tells him, "You are my little brother. The memories I was given may be lies, but the time I spent with you is true," and those people are surprised to hear this, and then Guilford attacks Zero with his weapon, and then Rollo comes in and saves him. And why is he doing this? Then in the next day we find out that Britain loses in a bad way and Zero saves all the members of the Black Knights, and Kalin is very happy to meet her member. We see the scene of the next day where Lelouch, Kalin and Situ were talking. Kalin asks Lelouch what happened to the nightmare who saved you. Lelouch says, "He was the nightmare of the Chinese Federation, did I tell you?" Kalin says he was the pilot who was in the Babel Tower with you, wasn't he? Then Situ asks Lelouch, "Did you use your gas?" But Lily? He said he didn't use his gas. Then we'll see in the next scene, where the Black Knight was celebrating in the joy of being free. Only then Zero comes there. Then some members appreciate Zero that he saved them from Britannia, but some members were taunting him. He was saying that if he did not do this, then such trouble would never have come. Only then Yogi says, "Zero has saved us from Britain, so we must trust him." Then the name of the dead Zero starts shouting in all of Black Knight. Then we are shown the morning scene where we find out that Suzaku has rejoined the school, which shocked Lelouch, and at Violeta's request, Suzaku goes to sit next to Lelouch, and Suzaku has been sent here by Charles, from which he takes. And all of Suzaku's classmates are very happy to see him at school after so many days. Then in the next scene we are shown where Reval asks, "Suzaku, have you seen the hero's face?" He says to Suzaku, "Sorry, but I can't tell you about it. This is a military secret." Suzaku then goes to the underground control room of the school, and he meets Violeta and Rollo there. It is then that Violeta says that it seems that Lelouch's memory has not really come back. Suzaku says we should do further investigation. Then in the next scene we see Lelouch, who was using gas on him to avoid his teacher. Then Rollo comes and says, "Suzaku is in school right now, should I kill him?" Lelouch says, "No, we won't do that. We have to deal with Violeta first. I know a truth about Violeta that we can do anything with her. You just leave it to me and listen to my plan." Then we see the scene of the next day where there is a festival again in the school and all the people were enjoying here. But on the other hand, we see the scene of the underground control room of the school where Roll Ho points a gun on Violeta, and Violeta is sad to see this and says, "Are you cheating on us?" But then he goes to Lilac and says to Violeta, "Miss Violeta, you have done a lot of drama of being my teacher, but now my memories have come back." And Violeta is sad to hear this. Lilac says to this, "I know. There were connections with you, which means you had connections with the Black Knight, and if Britannia found out, they wouldn't let you go." Violeta says all this happened because of you. You had erased my memories, so he tells Lilkis, but Britannia will not listen to you, and he gives her the gift that he had bought with the sari and wishes Violeta a birthday. Then the next day we see where the school was going to YouTube and their base after the festival was over. Then there is the scene safety where Suzaku calls Lelouch on the roof to meet. Suzaku says, "I want to join Black Knight. I have lost a lot of my closest friends and a girl that no one can replace." Then I woke up and made a call from my phone and Lelouch. He asks to talk, but when he talks he realizes that there is Nunnally on the phone and he gets sad after hearing Nunnally's voice. And with that, this video ends here, and if you want the next part of it, then press like and subscribe. And yes, it took so much time to make this video because I watched this anime 2 years ago, so I had to rewatch it from back. But now that I've seen it again, the video will keep coming soon. Just keep your support like this until bye bye.